Oh boy, Red Eclipse! So I mentioned Red Eclipse in my Cube 2 review way back when I started doing reviews alongside a lot of other forks for Cube 2 that took the game in new and interesting directions. Shortly afterwards, I was made aware that Red Eclipse was getting a port to Steam, and I was extremely excited. I even asked and was given a Steam key to try out the beta, and it's great! For the most part, anyway. Let's get this out of the way now. Red Eclipse 2 is great. It's a fantastic update to the previous version, its release on Steam is a wonderful thing, but it's missing something. Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's start off with the basics. Red Eclipse is a free arena shooter that is a fork of Sauerbraten, plug previous video here. It is multiplayer focused, uses a loadout for weapons, and, as its standout feature, has a parkour system for movement.
Parkour! 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 I'm right behind you, Andy! Come on! Yeah!
Ow!
It, being built off Cube 2 and currently Tesseract, uses octrees for level geometry, allowing for real-time mesh editing from inside the game. It has more of an unearthly feel to it compared to its fork parent, in that the music is much more electronic, the announcer sounds like Robot Jones, and the player character is some kind of alien with a long head. Speaking of characters, you can customize your person. The cosmetics listed as vanities in the menu, and with a few exceptions, do nothing to change the overall silhouette of the character. Still, a nice touch, and customization of any kind is appreciated. So, since what I'm going over is essentially an update, I should probably cover some of the changes from the old version to the new one. The previous version had a good amount of maps in the base game, about 40, with the ability to load all the maps from Sauerbraten if it was also on your drive. This meant that you had a metric fuck ton of maps to play in both multiplayer and bot matches, even if they weren't all fantastic. A lot of maps were just regular arena shooter maps that, while fun, were not designed with the parkour system in mind. You can still parkour, but you don't technically need to. A simple jump and dash is enough most of the time, which makes parkour feel like an afterthought more than anything else. The previous version of the game also had infinite ammo. That has changed. In contrast, the update to the game, which is on Steam right now, which you can download, makes a few drastic changes. There is a new render engine, the Tesseract engine, which gives the game a shinier coat of paint and better lighting. This seems to be at the cost of all the previous version's maps, which have been replaced with actually some pretty good maps. It's not as much and it's not as varied as the previous version, but the maps are really good. They are varied in time, weather, location, and design, and are fun by themselves. The parkour system really feels good with them too, which is something, like I said, wasn't always there with the previous maps. These maps feel designed around the parkour system. You have to use it in certain areas, otherwise you're just gonna get stomped. The limited ammo, which I mentioned before, has been replaced with ammo pickups that have to be manually picked up by button prompt. I would definitely prefer just picking them up by running over them, or at least an option to turn that on. Something also movement speed and UI. I noticed the UI thing, movement speed not so much. The UI has been changed because the parkour system is slightly different in how it does cooldown. I prefer the old UI, but at the same time, like, it's fine. The new system is much more forgiving, so I give it a general pass. So yeah, no, in total, overall, the update's really good, yeah? It's not bad for what it is, but there definitely is something missing. What could it be? Yes, where the fuck is the workshop?
It ought to be here, but it isn't.
You are sitting on one of the most in-depth and versatile stage editors seen in a game, the ability to modify meshes in real time and with multiplayer, and you didn't give the option to publish through the workshop, one of the standout features for Steam. Look, I know you mentioned it in a discussion thread on the Steam page, but why is this not a priority? I mean, that's like your bread and butter when it comes to this game. That's what this game has to offer that other games don't, besides, the parkour system. And it's not even listed on your GitHub planning list. I know it's a nitpick, but it's something that needs to be said. This game is pretty good on its own, but that missing piece makes it feel incomplete. Like, at least add it officially to the work list, like, oh, we're getting around to it. All that said, if you need a solid yes or no, this game is still a yes. I had a blast playing the new version of this game, and overall, it's a fantastic experience. But, devs, please add workshop support. Anyway, I'm Zackxevious, and I will see y'all next time. Take it easy.